On the last day of the theatre workshop, Sadhguru came to watch the Ishangas perform their act. As soon as he came into the hall, Sadhguru looked in the direction of me and stood on one leg. This is because Sadhguru never misses an opportunity to tease me about the meaning of my name. "Stand on one leg and ask Swami," said Sadhguru as soon as I took the microphone to ask the question. I asked, "Where did I put my chappals?" Sadhguru replied, "Only one chappal you need, Swami. So one chappal is gone, the other chappal is there. That's enough for you." And I said, "Sadhguru, this is one question. The other question is, you called me Ekapada. And my real question is, which one is it, right or left?" Sadhguru said, "That's a very profound question. There is a profound meaning to that. That's not a frivolous question. One chappal missing is not an appropriate question because you need only one." And I said, "What does Asteya have to do with identity in saying that you're not the body, you're not the mind?" And Sadhguru replied, "Though you stand on one leg, you're becoming wise these days." And Sadhguru continues to give his answer with his usual clarity. I first heard of Sadhguru from my mother. She was going through a lot of hardships at that time. So hearing from friends who recommended that she attend the yoga program, she quickly signed up for the Isha Yoga class as well as Bhavat Spandana program. I thought maybe just another workshop. Will it work? I waited to see. Once she came back from the Bhavat Spandana program, I looked at her face and I almost didn't recognize her. Her face was radiant and relaxed, like a huge burden was lifted off her life. I knew that whatever she gone through worked. I enrolled the next Isha Yoga program with Sadhguru. During the program, all the class aspects went straight over my head. I cried bitterly when it was over because I didn't experience anything, or rather, I didn't experience what I wanted to experience. Nevertheless, the atmosphere in the class did indicate to me that this was different. Sadhguru was different. This was not another new age gimmick. The next time Sadhguru came to Lebanon was a year later. This time I volunteered for the program. But then 2 years had passed since my big experience on the mountain, and my longing was hitting a painful peak. After one of the sessions, seeing Sadhguru, I was sobbing mad, and though I felt embarrassed, something within me just wanted to let go. That is when I realized that there was nothing much more to Sadhguru than I could ever understand. During my Bhava Spandana program, I felt drawn to the way of volunteers served. I felt they knew some love, some joy that I didn't have. Otherwise, they could have treated us like we were everything to them. The way Sadhguru chanted Shiva Shambho, I knew he knew something far beyond me. I melted in longing and eagerness, crying tears like I found something of tremendous value. That is when I first heard about Shiva, and that he was the destroyer. In one of the processes, I decided to give it a full shot. I threw myself completely, and I lost any sense of where my body was for a few moments. In another process, intense session ran through my entire body. I was shaking and crying uncontrollably. I saw each participant as a divine entity. I naturally bowed down to everyone. Immediately after graduation, I came to the ashram for 3 months. I jumped into the sadhana schedule with a lot of enthusiasm and gusto. But then I began to see the madness of my mind. Everything came to the surface, and it was quite hard to believe and digest. I was at a loss. On the 10th day, I got an opportunity to meet Sadhguru. The moment I came in the room, I fell at his feet crying, asking him what was going on. In that meeting, he set a few things straight in me. Along the way, he also hinted at the possibility of me staying here, if I wished. I never realized that this was possible at all. On the 14th day in the ashram, having seen that the source of energy that this place imbibed was what I longed for within me, there was no other option for me. I had to be here, madness or no madness. I had to see this though. Before I went back to Lebanon, I had another meeting with Sadhguru. There is a lot of shit to get off this tree to make it grow, he told me. I didn't understand what he meant, of course. I went back to Lebanon, but after 3 months, I was back to the ashram for good. Initially, I volunteered in dining, kitchen, audio, and archives. At that time, I was doing 70 Surya Namaskar in 1 hour, and things were really getting stirred up. I lost quite a lot of weight by then. I got a chance seeing Sadhguru on the grounds one day, and up looking at me, he shouted, "What are you doing? Go eat! Go eat now!" After that, I started eating. To be more accurate, hogging for 1 hour every meal. Despite this, I still lost a couple of kilos over a few months. I got initiated into Brahmacharya in 2004. But then, too many things were happening that I couldn't handle, inside and outside. I was on fire, and it didn't matter. But in activity, I couldn't do things properly. I could manage with simple instruction well enough, but anything which involved a little more, I struggled with. Shortly after, a week-long Brahmacharis meet was to take place while I was stuck in Nepal due to visa complications. We were meant to be in silence, so I made arrangements to be in silent too and was given a sadhana schedule. On one of the days, as I was sitting for presence, a soft yet very consuming moment happened, as if I collapsed into myself, and there was Sadhguru. I felt I belonged no more to myself, and I was fired up to come back and be useful to everyone around me. This time, it would not be on my terms. Once I was back from Nepal, I was totally ready for a fresh start. Sadhguru sent me to Isha Homeschool with one instruction: to be spiritual and not to talk spiritual. Of course, I didn't understand. Are you kidding? My first day at IHS, I finished my practice and came back for assembly. The day was amazing. The atmosphere in the school was changed with youthful enthusiasm. I thought this is going to be good, and it was. One day, I went and plugged a mic cable into an amp during an assembly because it wasn't working. The next thing I knew, I was asked to ensure the audio works every day. Since then, I've been in charge of the audio at the school. A month into the term, I made another mistake and said yes. When the English teacher asked me if I could help a few struggling students to put up a skit, I was always into drama, so it was the most natural thing for me. The skit was a success. The students were motivated to learn and improve. The next thing I knew, I was appointed to conduct drama classes for juniors. Then slowly, classes increased. Drama production evolved into better performance. Like this, things happened. Slowly, the shell that I was began to opening up, and I started including and connecting with others. The Sangha makes it so much easier to grow because every situation becomes a check and a way for my growth. Not only the Sangha of Brahmacharis, but the ashramites and volunteers too. In fact, so many times, support came from an unexpected source, and it helped me in my growth. Should I not bow down to everyone then? Are they not His invisible hand acting up in my life? To me, I experience more of Sadhguru in His absence than in His physical presence. What happened to me, how it happened, I can only attribute to Him. I see Him as one who offers me all possibilities to grow towards my ultimate possibility. I just have to catch it. He is the invisible hand that guides me through obstacles. It's been my experience that whenever I truly open up to Him, His grace, His guidance is always there, always waiting for receptivity to bloom. A few years ago, in the Brahmacharis meet, Sadhguru told me that I need to remain steady and focused, that my path will be slow, but by the time I'm 40 to 50, I'll start exploring deeper dimensions of consciousness. Well, I'm 41 now. As I continue to work on my stability and focus, I strive to grow. I wait for Him.
Namaskaram, Swami.
Hi.
Namaskaram.
Would you like to participate in 11 questions?
Only 11.
Okay, sorry. Can you tell us something about yourself?
My name is Swami Ekapada. I stay in Isha Yoga Center and I also work in Isha Homeschool.
What is the meaning of your name?
Kind of varied over the years, to be honest. Now it's kind of veering towards Nataraja.
Okay. Can you tell us about your current activity in Isha?
I am a French teacher and I also teach public speaking and I take care of other responsibilities also.
What is the one unique thing about homeschool that you find nowhere in the world?
A lot of kids are smiling and teachers are also smiling.
Your first brush with Isha?
My mother's face. She came back from a yoga program and when I saw her face, she was like super relaxed, smiling, bright, and I was like,
What is the funniest thing that you have heard about being a brahmachari?
Very serious people. When I crack a joke at somebody, they look at me upside down like this, thinking, "Oh, Swami, how is Swami cracking jokes?" Yeah, that's the kind of thing that happens.
What were you doing before you moved here?
I was studying architecture.
One interaction with Sadhguru that is etched in your memory.
Very hard to choose because all of them where he spoke to me and looked at me with that look and he gave me some very profound thing that I didn't understand. Those are all etched in my memories, hoping that maybe I will understand them sometime.
One similarity between India and Lebanon.
Very tough question. I'm not sure.
One word for brahmacharya.
Blessed.
Sadhguru.
Oh,
India.
culture.
Swami Pada.
Striving.
Namaskaram, Swami.